The last time Captain Elara Voss had seen Earth, it was through the fractured hull of a shuttle that wasn't supposed to survive re-entry. The sky had been the color of burning copper, swollen with dust storms and electromagnetic interference. Cities didn't shine anymore, they smoldered. Megastructures once heralded as the pinnacles of human progress now groaned under the weight of collapse, and over it all hung the obsidian silhouettes of the imperial harvesters, cold and patient machines that surveyed the dying world like a vulture waiting for stillness. That was 15 years ago. Now, standing on the bridge of the Aegir's wake, a renegade cruiser patched from scrap and stolen tech, Elara felt the old world tug at her again. Earth was gone, but the memory lingered like scar tissue. Before her, the navigation display pulsed with a message intercepted from the Union resistance. A coded plea carried on a dying frequency. They are coming. The Empire has found what remains. A rendezvous at Okeanos Gate. If you can still fight, come. Elara shut her eyes. She had hoped somehow that the Empire had forgotten about the broken cradle of humanity. But the Empire forgot nothing. Route laid in, said Ven, the ship's pilot, his voice gravelly from years of smoke inhalation. If we push the core any harder, it'll cook my bones. Again. You'll live, Elara said, gripping the command rail as the ship thrummed with acceleration. Or you won't, but humanity won't get another shot at this. Behind her, the soft hum of nanofabricators, the hiss of recycled air, and the muffled clank of the ship's makeshift armor formed a familiar symphony. The Aegir's wake was old, she was ugly, but she was theirs, and she was headed into war. Beginning, the ruins we made. The Okeanos Gate hung like a fractured halo above Titan's pale atmosphere. The once grand station had been built by the unified human republic during its golden age. A rallying point, a trade hub, a celebration of what humanity could become. Now it was a drifting graveyard. Hull panels floated detached like metallic petals. One of the ring's arms had snapped entirely, leaving a skeletal outline that spun slowly into the darkness. Elara stepped into the docking bay, her boots echoing off scorched plating. Many of the station's lights flickered or had died completely. Survivors, thin, weary, draped in mismatched armor, watched her approach with hollow caution. A man with silver-threaded black hair and a mechanical left arm strode forward. Commander Denar. He had once been Elara's commanding officer, back before the Empire had crushed the Republic in a 3-year campaign known simply as the Reduction. Elara Voss, Ral said. I wasn't sure you'd answer. You broadcasted to everyone, she replied. Even ghosts. Ghosts are what humanity has left. He motioned for her to walk with him. The station creaked as they entered the central war room, little more than a hollow dome held together with stubborn willpower and scavenged clamps. A holographic display flickered to life, revealing a star map riddled with the crimson insignia of the Imperial Dominion. 3 cycles ago, Ral began, Empire scouts detected something beneath Earth's crust, something they either missed during the reduction, or something that woke up. Elara frowned. What could they possibly want from the ashes? Ral zoomed in on Earth's remains. Charred continents, blackened oceans, no signs of ecological recovery. Then he highlighted a point deep beneath the Himalayas. The hologram pulsed with a strange geometric signature. This, he said, is the shard engine. Elara stiffened. That was a myth. So was the Empire once, Ral replied. The shard engine was a pre-human artifact, ancient. We thought it was destroyed during the evacuations, but the Empire found evidence that it survived underground, and they want it. Ral nodded. Their Emperor believes the shard engine can rewrite gravitational constants, reshape space-time, even resurrect dead star systems. If he acquires it, the Empire will expand beyond what physics allows, conquest without limit. Elara felt nausea twist in her gut. We can't let them reach it, Ral continued. A small window remains. The Empire's armada is en route, but we can get to Earth first. We must. It's suicide, Elara said. But she also knew the alternative. When do we leave? Immediately, he answered. You and your crew will join the strike team. You're one of the few who's entered Earth's lower crust facilities and lived. Elara touched the scar above her eyebrow, earned in the collapse of the Beijing spire tunnels. She didn't want to go back. Every memory of Earth was a ghost trying to drag her down. But she nodded anyway. I'll go. Middle, return to the broken cradle. The Joint Resistance Fleet consisted of little more than 11 ships, some barely functional. But their resolve was stronger than their steel. As they neared Earth, Elara stood on the viewing deck, staring at the shattered world below. Earth was no longer blue. It was black lacework, ash, ruin, and the remnants of orbital bombardment scars. The planet's atmosphere was thin, patchy, and corrupted by heavy metals. Old satellites drifted like tombstones. Looks worse than last time, Ven muttered, joining her. It always does. They descended through the remnants of a dust storm that painted the sky in swarms of irradiated particles. The landing site, once part of the Tibetan plateau, had become a jagged wasteland of collapsed bedrock. The entrance to the Shard engine's subterranean vault was a skeletal maw in the earth, its protective doors long since smashed inward. Elara, Ral, and a dozen armored fighters entered the darkened tunnels. Their helmets projected faint light, cutting through centuries of dust. The walls were carved from a smooth obsidian-like material, non-human. Intricate geometric patterns glowed faintly as if reacting to their presence. This structure isn't just a vault, Ral whispered. It's alive. Elara didn't disagree. They descended deeper until the passage opened into a cavernous chamber. At its center floated the Shard engine, a crystalline, 12-sided construct humming with soft internal light. Suspended above the ground, it radiated impossible geometry, edges that bent the eye, surfaces that seemed to extend inward infinitely. Ven whistled. How did we miss this? We didn't know what we were looking for, Elara replied. Ral approached the object cautiously. We need to destabilize it. Make sure the Empire can't activate it. But before they could begin, the chamber trembled. Then the air filled with the unmistakable sound of synchronized metal footsteps. Imperial shock troopers emerged from the shadows, tall armored figures with mirrored visors and pulse rifles humming with lethal voltage. Behind them, descending with the calm confidence of inevitability, stood an Imperial Chancellor, draped in layered obsidian robes, his pale face illuminated by the crystal's glow. Commander Ral Denar, the Chancellor said. Captain Elara Voss, I commend your bravery. Futile but admirable. You're too late, Ral spat. So are you, the Chancellor replied coolly. The Emperor will arrive shortly to claim the engine. Stand down, and perhaps your people will be granted assimilation. Assimilation? Elara laughed bitterly. You turned our worlds to ash. The Chancellor raised a hand. We made them obedient. Energy crackled from his fingers. Telekinetic manipulation from Imperial augmentation tech. The Shard engine responded, its facets brightening. Elara's pulse hammered. There was no time left. Ven! She yelled. Overload the stabilizers. Ven slammed a device onto the ground and activated it. Blue arcs of energy surged across the chamber, making the walls vibrate. The Chancellor sneered. You cannot hope to destroy something older than your species. No, Elara said, raising her rifle. But we can bury it. A firefight erupted, violent, explosive, chaotic. Pulse rounds ricocheted off alien stone. Resistance fighters fell, but so did troopers. Elara sprinted toward the engine, firing as she ran. The Shard engine pulsed, destabilizing. The chamber groaned as gravitational distortions rippled outward. Elara! Ral shouted. The ceiling, move! The upper crust began collapsing. Shards of rock rained down. But before she could retreat, the Chancellor seized her telekinetically, suspending her in the air. You misunderstand your place, he said, tightening his grip. Humanity kneels. Elara gasped, pain shooting through every nerve. Then a pulse cannon shot tore through the Chancellor's shoulder. He lost focus. Elara dropped, rolling painfully onto the ground. Ral charged, tackling the Chancellor with a roar of defiance. Go, he shouted. Finish IT. Elara crawled toward the Shard engine, ribs aching. Ven staggered beside her, activating the final overload sequence. 10 seconds, he yelled. Elara, Ral whispered through the comm, voice strained, fading. Make it count. The Shard engine shrieked, a sound not meant for mortal senses, as its geometry fractured inward. A vortex of warped gravity tore through the chamber, and everything went white, ending the day we stood. When Elara regained consciousness, she was lying in a transport evac shuttle, her armor melted in places, her vision blurry. Ven sat slumped nearby, a bandage around his head. As the shuttle ascended, she saw the rupture from orbit. The entire region beneath the Himalayas had collapsed inward, forming a massive crater where the vault once stood. A plume of distorted energy shimmered like liquid auroras, then faded. The shard engine was gone, but so was Ral. Elara forced herself upright, grief tightening her throat. "We didn't destroy it," she whispered. Ven nodded weakly. "But we denied it to them." "The Empire won't get their toy." Elara looked out at Earth's broken form. For the first time in years, she didn't see only ruin. She saw resistance, and she saw hope. Their comms flickered with incoming transmissions from the fleet. "Captain Voss," a voice crackled. "The Empire is withdrawing from the sector. Sensors show instability in their warp trajectories. Whatever you did, it disrupted them." Elara exhaled deeply. Something in the shard engine's implosion must have rippled outward, interfering with the Empire's long-range transit systems. Maybe temporarily, maybe longer. Either way, the galaxy finally had breathing room. Ven looked at her. "What now?" Elara stared at Earth one last time. "Now," she said quietly, "we rebuild, so we never kneel again." The shuttle angled away from the dying planet, joining the ragtag fleet beyond the atmosphere. In those battered vessels, humanity lived on, scarred but unbroken. And in the void ahead, possibility waited. Humanity had lost their worlds once. They would not lose them again.